It's Wednesday chat day, which means it's time to sit down with some of the Austin American-Statesman sports writers. Cedric Golden's off today, so we have Kirk, Randy Riggs, Mark Rosner. They were all in the chat earlier this morning, and now we're going to sit down and rehash some of the hot topics that were out there today. And first off, Kirk, let's start with you. We got a question from Robert Wilson. He says, why won't A&M be just as good in 2013 as they were in 2012?
Well, you lose Luke Jokel, who's a pretty good player, and they lost Patrick Lewis, their center, and they had some losses on defense to Montre Moore, and they lose Cliff Kingsbury, the play caller. So you don't know how all that's going to weigh in. But personally, I don't think there's going to be a fall off. I think the offensive line they have coming back is still largely intact. I think Johnny Manziel is still the best player in all of college football. And yeah, they got a target, on their back, but Aggies don't seem to mind that.
And Randy, Texas coming off, progressively getting better. Do you see them building off the 9-win season of last year and finally getting back to that double-digit mark?
I put them down for 10 wins, just kind of an arbitrary number. I think a lot of their season is going to be judged by what happens on October the 12th in Dallas. I mean, that game means a whole lot to a lot of people. And if they lay another egg against Oklahoma, then look out below.
Changing gears a little bit to basketball, you guys got a lot of questions on Texas basketball. Roz, that's your specialty. Is there any chance this team is able to bounce back and get to the NCAA tournament and maybe make some noise in next season?
I think wouldn't surprise me if they made the tournament. I don't know about making any noise. The talent level's really dipped, and and some of the guys who came in last year need to develop, and they need to develop in the off season, like today. But I think they're kind of a long shot. Their program's stagnant right now.
Kirk, do you see Barnes feeling the heat next season and really having to make improvements on the past few seasons to make sure that he's still got a job in 2014?
He should be feeling the heat. We always wonder who is applying the heat, other than media and fan base, and we all know we don't count that much. So DeLoss Dodds, he's told me, he said he's absolutely concerned about the drop-off with the basketball program, and as Rod said, their talent level is not the same as it was.
I always wonder about when people say somebody's under pressure, and my first question is from who? I'll say this in the case of UT now and all their sports, important fans are not happy.
Well, they talk about standards too. They've got a standard. Well, what is that standard? It's a sliding standard.
Right.
Used to be it's minimum of Sweet 16. Now it's making the NCAA tournament. So that,
or at least winning a game in the CBI, right?
That would be nice. Some sign of progress.
I think they're good enough to return to the CBI.
Oh, wow.
Maybe they'll do better.
Email Mark Robinson. Okay.
You guys took a lot of questions on baseball, on barbecue, but we'll end it on this. Obviously, last night, Game 6 of the NBA Finals, the Spurs couldn't close the deal. Do you see them being able to bounce back and win Game 7?
I just think Miami's going to come out engaged and active and aggressive and intense, and I imagine the fans, if they stay for the whole game this time, will keep them in that state of mind.
They had so much emotionally invested last night, and to see it get away from it at the very end like it did is just got to be crushing. Apparently, even in the post-game interview, Manu said he doesn't see how they bounce back from this because he's just crushed.
I'll say this, I wouldn't predict a win for the Spurs, but if anybody, they have the experience and the leadership
and the pride
to gather themselves, but that's a tall order.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this post-chat recap. Don't forget to check it out every Wednesday, 11 a.m. on statesman.com and mystatesman.com. Kirk's always there with some combination of our guys here at the Statesman. We'll see you next week.